Today, inshallah azawajal, we're going to deal with a simple and easy issue, but it's an important issue. And that is, we want to give the tafseer, inshallah, concerning one of the smaller surahs of the Quran. One of the smallest surahs of the Quran. Surah Al Inshirah. Al Inshirah. Or Surah Al Sharh. And I'm sure that everybody has memorized that surah. And the reason why we want to do this, ikhwani, is number one, we fast in the month of Ramadan. The battle of Badr was waged in the month of Ramadan. This is the month of I'tikaf. This is the month of Sadaq and Zakat. This is the month of doing a lot of good deeds. But the single number one best deed of Ramadan is recitation of the Quran. In Salat, reading the Quran. As a matter of fact, that ayat of the Quran, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. The month of Ramadan is the month that the Quran was revealed. Because it was revealed in Ramadan, Allah said, now you have to fast. Because it was revealed in Ramadan. And for you young brothers, and all of you, if you ask the question, the books that we know about that were revealed, you know, when we say we believe in Allah and the Malaika and the Kutub, and we believe in the Rasul, Yawm al-Akhir, and we believe in the Qadr, each one of those has a lot. What is it to believe in Allah? You have to believe who Allah is, who He isn't, what's His name, what's His attributes, what He does, what He doesn't do. It's a lot. Lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. Nothing is like unto Him, His nor is not in anyone, and on and on. It's a lot. When we believe in the Malaika, what are they created from? What's their numbers? What do they do? What do they not do? What's their names? How? All so many issues. When we say we believe in the books, we have to know what are those books. We have to know about those books. So part of believing in the books is that we know that those books that have been mentioned in the Quran is the book that was revealed to Musa, the Torah. The book that was revealed to Isa, the Injil. The book that was revealed to Dawood, the Zabur. The Suhuf of Ibrahim, the Suhuf of Ibrahim and Musa. They were all revealed in the month of Ramadan. So Ramadan is the month of the revelation. This Quran is the Kalam of Allah. The Torah, the Injil, the Zabur, the Suhuf of Ibrahim and Musa. It was from the Kalam of Allah, but they corrupted it. So Allah Azza wa Jal created Bani Adam and He sent down His Kalam. What month did He send it down in? He sent it down in this month of Ramadan. So the Quran and Ramadan go together. So that means the person understands that he has to pick up that Quran and read that Quran in the month of Ramadan. He reads English, okay, no problem. Do your best. Read English, no problem. But you have to sit down, you have to listen to some of that Quran being recited. You have to try to read that Arabic in the month of Ramadan. And this is one of the reasons why I encourage you to do the Qiyamul Layl, to do the Taraweeh, and so forth and so on. So in studying this small, easy verse, this surah, small, easy, but it has a lot of benefit, we have to understand that the Prophet told us, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, لِأَنْ يَغْدُوَ أَحَدُكُمْ مِنَ الْمَسْجِدِ فَيَقْرَأْ آيَتَيْنِ من كتاب الله أو يتعلم آيتين من كتاب الله خير له من. He asked his companion sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أيكم يحب أن يغدو إلى البطحان أو إلى العتيق فيأتي بناقتين قوامين زهراوين من غير إثم ولا قتل الرحم. He said to his companions, which one of you would like to go to this place where he used to keep his camels? There was a place called Aqiq and a place called Budhan. This man has a lot of camels, 200 camels. He has to give 5 for zakat to the Prophet. He has to give 10. He has to give, so the Prophet had camels from zakat. People, they give camels and zakat. He used to keep these camels in a corral. He said, which one of you would like to go to that place where I keep the camels of zakat? And you come back every day with the 2 fat camels. Every day you go, you come back with 2 fat camels. and you didn't commit any sin by doing that, and doing that, no sin, you don't make any mistakes. They said, all of us were like that, Ya Rasulullah. Every day I go there and come back with 2 camels. After 1 week, how many camels would the man have? How many? They don't do mathematics in Blackburn. If the guy went and got 2 camels every day, after 1 week, how many camels would he have if he did that? How many? 14. I think someone said 3. So if he went every day, 2 camels, 2 camels. After 1 week, he's going to have 14 camels. After 2 weeks, 28 camels. And you do the math. So they said, all of us would love to do that. He said, for one of you to go to the masjid and to read 2 ayahs of the Quran. Read it, just that. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. That's it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Yasin. That's it, 2 ayahs. If one of you came to the masjid and you read 2 ayah, or you learned 2 ayah, he said those 2 ayah is better than those 2 camels. And 3 ayahs better than 3 camels. 4 ayahs better than 4. And like that. So if you came to the masjid and you prayed and you read the Quran, Sunnah prayer, Wajib prayer, you came to the masjid, you prayed 2 rak'ahs, then you sat down and you picked up the Quran and you read Surah Yasin, Surah Sabbih Isma Rabbikal A'la, whatever you read. However many ayahs you read, it is better, more virtuous than going out and getting those camels. So when the companions heard that, they were people who would come to the masjid to read the Quran and learn the Quran. When the people hear it today, it's just imaginary. They think that the Prophet is just giving them an example. Those companions saw it as being real. Now just imagine if someone said to you, hey, the closest car dealership, they have nice cars up here, Mercedes-Benz, some nice cars, sports car right there, the dealership. Who would like to go over there and bring 2 cars back every day? Everybody's going to say, everybody wants to do that. To come to the masjid, to read 2 ayat is better than that. Yawm al-Qiyam is going to be better for you. So that hadith encourages people, come to the masjid and read the Quran. He didn't say this if you did it in your house. He said if you came and you did it in the masjid, to have a lesson in the masjid, or you read the Quran by yourself in the masjid, or you learn the Quran in the masjid. He also mentioned, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, مَجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بَيُوتِ اللَّهِ يتلون كتاب الله ويتدارسونه فيما بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم الرحمة وغشتهم الملائكة وذكرهم الله في من عنده. He said if a people come to the masjid and they read the book of Allah, they read and they study the book of Allah, then as a result of that, the rahmah of Allah is going to come down. Allah's rahmah. And the malaika are going to come down and they're going to surround them and come around them. And Allah Azza wa Jal is going to mention those people who are reading the Quran, learning the Quran in the masjid. Allah will mention them, praise them with those who are with Him, meaning the Malaik al-Muqarrabeen who are close to Him by His arsh. So the point of these 2 hadith and many other hadith similar to this is that it goes to show, Ikhwani, the virtues of and the importance of the masjid and that Quran in Ramadan and outside of Ramadan. So we want to take advantage of this opportunity, keeping with the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, doing more in the last 10 days. Surah Al Inshirah. Al Inshirah. Al Inshirah. Alam nashrah laka sadrak wa wada'na anka wizraka alladhi anqadha dhahrak wa rafa'na laka dhikrak fa inna ma'al usri yusra inna ma'al usri yusra. فَإِذَا فَرَقْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. Everybody memorize that surah. Everybody. The surah, in actuality, it only has 8 ayat in it. 8. But it is filled with too many important information. Issues. First thing we're going to tell you is that this surah is a Medina surah. Now this is important, guys. All of the surahs of the Quran are separated into Meccan surahs or Medina surah. So if someone were to ask you, Khalid, what is a Meccan surah? Don't say it's the surah that was revealed in Mecca, because it's not that. What is the Medina Surah? It's a surah that was revealed in Medina. Don't say that, because it's not that. There were some surah that were not revealed in Mecca, nor were they revealed in Medina. They weren't revealed here, they weren't revealed there. They were revealed when the Prophet was traveling. He was outside of Mecca or Medina. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So you guys, this ummah, you people, the book of Allah, all of the surahs of the Quran are divided into Meccan and Medina. The Meccan surah is the surah that was revealed before the Hijrah. Any surah that was revealed before the Hijrah is a Meccan surah. And every surah that was revealed after the Hijrah, it is Medina surah. You know the surah, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. That surah is a Medina surah, but it was revealed in Mecca. When the Prophet went and he conquered Mecca, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this surah was revealed. When the help of Allah come and you see the people coming into Islam in droves and great multitudes, that is a Medina surah, but it was revealed in Mecca. Why is it a Medina surah? Because it was revealed after the Hijrah. Everybody understand what I just said, the first point? If someone were to ask you, what's your name, little man? Hudayfa? If someone were to ask you, how old are you, little man? Huh? You're 9 years old. MashaAllah. If someone asks you, what's a Meccan surah? What's a Medina surah? The Meccan surah was revealed before the Hijrah. The Medina surah was revealed after the Hijrah. The Meccan surah, it has some characteristics. Now is not the time for that. The Medina surah, it has some characteristics. Now is not the time for that. Maybe you ask that question later on. But the point is, this surah is a Medina surah. Allah Ta'ala mentioned, and it's called Al Inshirah because of the first ayah. Did we not expand for you your breasts, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Alam nashrah laka sadrak, Ya Muhammad. Did I, Allah, did I not expand your breasts, Al Inshirah? Did I not do this for you? He said, and I took off of you the sin that was making you go down, the sin that was heavy on your back, the mistake that was heavy on your back. And did I not raise you up, your dhikr? Did I not raise your dhikr up, Ya Muhammad? Did not raise your dhikr up? And then Allah said, verily, with difficulty, there is ease. And then he repeated it. Verily, with difficulty, there is ease. So, once you finish your prayer and once you finish the job that you're doing, whatever you're responsible for doing, then turn to Allah and focus in your worship. Turn to Allah and focus in your worship. 8 easy, simple surahs, as I mentioned. Everybody memorize this surah. You first become a Muslim, you're going to memorize this surah, inshallah ta'ala, from the first days of your Islam, first months. Okay, as I mentioned, Alam nashrah laka sadrak, it was Alam nashrah, Al Inshirah, that we not opening your breast. That's why it's called Surah Al Inshirah. What does it mean? This ayat can mean two things, showing the richness of the Quran. Alam nashrah laka sadrak, it means number one, it means Inshirah as-sadr, to have your chest expanded means you have the ability to tolerate people and to tolerate things. You have the ability to come into Al-Islam and to practice things. Like people who are fasting. You have inshirah of your heart. I was visited by a Muslim policeman yesterday. He wasn't fasting. And he didn't want to fast. And he didn't see a need to fast. And that's because his heart, his chest has not been expanded to embrace it, to accept it. So with all of the mistakes that we make and all of falling short of the mark that we do, the fact that you pray, the fact that you fast, the fact that you're a Muslim and you're proud to be a Muslim, the fact that all of those things that you are trying to do, that you embrace, even if you make a mistake, that's inshirah of a sadr. So Allah Ta'ala is telling the Prophet, didn't we do this for you? How do we know that that's what inshirah means? some other ayat of the Quran, other verses. Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, فَمَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرُهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ. If Allah wants to guide someone, He expands his breast. He makes inshirah. He used that word. He opens his chest to al-Islam. I'm not the smartest guy from the people that I used to know in America in Jahiliyyah before I was a Muslim. I'm not the smartest one. I'm not the dumbest one. But Allah Azza wa Jal guided me, and He didn't guide them. And that's why all of you brothers, as I was telling my traveling partner, all of you who were born in Islam, you opened up your eyes and your name is Hudayfa, your name is Khalid, your name is Bilal, whatever your name is. Your name is Hirsi, whatever your name is. You opened up and you're a Muslim. You need to give thanks. That's why you have to be respectful to your parents. Because if you were born and your religion changed to Christianity, you could have been like many of these people who we know walking around. Allah didn't give them the inshirah of their hearts. So even if a person finds that his parents are difficult, he has to always remember, you are a Muslim because of Allah and then your parents. Even if they're not the best practicing Muslims. But they gave you a name. They gave you a culture that identifies you and connects you automatically. So you grow up just being a Muslim. So Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in that ayah, whoever Allah wants to guide him, He opens up his heart. That means, inshirah, it gives a person the ability to accept something, to embrace it. I told you the other meaning of it is to be tolerant, to be capable of dealing with your wife, inshirah of your heart, to be able to deal with your children and to deal with people and stuff like that. When Allah Azza wa Jalla sent Musa to Fir'aun, and He told him, I'm going to send you to Fir'aun to give Fir'aun dawah. Musa made a dua, قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Musa made a dua. He said, oh Allah, open my chest. Expand my chest. Use that word, expand my chest. And make this easy for me. And take the knot that's out of my tongue so that they can hear what I'm saying and they can comprehend what I'm saying. So inshirah as-sadr, based upon what Musa said, is, I'm getting ready to go to this man. And what did Pharaoh say to Musa? He said, Ana rabbukumul a'la. I'm your God, the Most High. He said to them, do you have a God other than me? Who gave you the permission to worship another God? Now, Musa's calling to Tawheed. Musa's calling to Allah. And this man in front of him is saying, no, I'm Allah. The man in front of him is saying, I give life, I give death. So the Muslim has to be able to tolerate that. Inshirah. That's the meaning of this ayah. Ya Muhammad, didn't we make you like that? Didn't we make you an individual who, when the Bedouin came to you for money and he grabbed you by your shirt and shook your neck like that and said, give me some more money, you didn't take your sword out and chop his head off? You dealt with him. When the people say, Ya Muhammad, about you, you're Majnoon, that you have a jinn, that you're a magician, and that you're this, that, everything they said, the Prophet was this, that. Rasulullah didn't go crazy over that. He just had sabr because Allah opened his chest to deal with that. So, little men, they're my little nephews. If I'm going to travel to Birmingham from Blackburn with these guys, they're going to say, this one's going to keep saying all the way, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? For the whole trip, are we there yet? Are we there yet? The other one's going to say, I have to go to the toilet. I have to go to the toilet. The other one's going to say, oh, I'm hungry. The other one will say, I want to go back home. So as the driver, as the parent, as the leader of the community, or whatever, the adult, the older brother, the older sister, the mother, the father, inshirah of the sadr is being able to tolerate that stuff. That's the meaning of that ayah. Number one meaning. The second possible meaning, pay attention, the second possible meaning is what happened to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam 2 times. In Sahih Muslim, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a young boy like this in Mecca, he was a young boy in Mecca. He said that he went out to play with some of the youngsters of Quraysh, and he went out to the desert not far from Mecca. He said that an angel came down, and an angel knocked him down, put him down aggressively on the floor. The other boy saw what was happening. The angel opened up his heart, opened up his chest, and the other boys saw that, and they ran away, and they came to Mecca to tell the people, a man is out there, killed Muhammad, killed him, opened him up. The Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the angel opened up his chest and took his heart out. After he took his heart out, in his heart, on his heart, around his heart was a string. The angel took that string off of his heart, and it was a black string. The angel said to him, "Hada haddu shaitan minka." This is the portion that shaitan had on you. He took that out, and then he put his heart back in and closed them up, and the Prophet got up and came into Mecca. That hadith is in Sahih Muslim. Allah gave you the inshirah of the heart, of the mind, to believe that story. Some non-Muslims, if they heard that story, they'll say, "You believe that?" And the Muslim, without hesitating, white, black, man, rich, what we're going to say, "Allahumma naam, I believe that." That's an authentic hadith. That's my religion. It's not hocus pocus. That happened. Now, a few issues, ikhwani. Alam nashrah laka sadrak? Didn't we open up your chest when you were a young boy and we took that thing of shaitan out of you? First thing. That black thing of shaitan goes to show Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Bani Adam. He's a makhluk. He's not a khaliq. He's not the khaliq. He doesn't deserve to be worshipped. It also goes to show the purity that he had before even becoming a prophet or a messenger. In that it was just a small part of blackness in his heart. It goes to show if Rasulullah was created from the nur of Allah, as some of our Muslim brothers believe in this part of the world, nur of Allah. Does the nur of Allah have some shaitan inside of it? Rasulullah said, as Allah told him, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ, I'm a human being just like you. You're not from the nur of Allah. Rasulullah is not from the nur of Allah. So that's the first, أَلَمْ نَشْرَحْ لَكَ صَدْرَكَ. First time his chest was open was when he was a little child. And it was cleaned out, and something was taken out of it, and the angel said, "That's the portion of shaitan." Second time it happened, also this is inside Bukhari Muslim, was in the incident called Al Isra wal Mi'raj. With your right hands, how many of you heard of Al Isra wal Mi'raj? Al Isra wal Mi'raj. There is a surah in the Quran called Surah Al Isra. Subhanalladhi asra bi abdihi laylan min al masjid al haram إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله. What did the Prophet say? He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I was sleeping in the precincts of Mecca, and the angel came and he took me on an animal called Al-Barraq. He said, before I got on the animal, the angel opened up my chest. He took my heart out and he washed it with Zamzam water, and then he put it back in, and then I got on that Barak and I started traveling, and he traveled to Bayt al-Maqdis, where the Muslims are being shot up and killed. Yesterday they were fasting, some of them fasting. They are not only worrying about fasting, they don't have food, they don't have clean water, they don't have electricity, they have all those problems. But at the time of Maghrib, they have to also worry about tanks and soldiers rolling in on them, shooting them and their children. You guys, we have to make dua to Allah with sincerity against the Yahud. We have to make dua with sincerity to Allah Azza wa Jal against the dhulm that those people are going through. And we also have to be thankful to Allah. We're sitting here right now, we're not worried about anything. We're not worried about anything in terms of safety and security. Those people's life is not like that. Anyway, that was the second time. Alam nashrah laka sadra. Now, before we move on to the next point, inshallah, why did Allah Azza wa Jalla have his heart cleaned out when he was a young man? And why did he have his heart cleaned out the second time? I'm going to ask you that question, inshallah. The reason for that, Alam nashrah laka sadra, did we wash your heart? First time, Allah prepared him for prophecy. The first time when he was young. No one who knew Prophet Muhammad, growing up could say he used to lie when he was young, when he was a teenager. He used to gamble. He used to drink khamr. No one can say that. No one can say Muhammad, when he was young, he was smoking cigarettes. No one can say that. There are some people from amongst us, At one time we were not practicing. Now you're trying to be a better person. But the society can say, hey, I know him at a time he used to gamble. I know him at a time he used to be a criminal. I know him at a time she used to do this, she used to do that. They did not have the ability to say anything against Prophet Muhammad ﷺ when he stood up in Mecca and Quraysh and he said, hey people, I'm Rasulullah, do the right thing. No one could say, oh, you're telling us you're Rasul, but you used to do this, you used to do that. You used to go to the party with us. So Allah cleaned out his heart to make him a person who was pure. They didn't have anything to say against him. As for the second time, his heart was cleaned out in preparation for the trip. In preparation for the trip. Back then, over 1400 years ago, someone is going to get on the Barak. Prophet Muhammad described that Barak in a number of hadith. He said that the Barak moves at the speed of light, quicker than the speed of light. He said that there's nothing in creation that moves faster than the Barak. That means the rockets, that means the missiles, that means whatever is traveling very fast. It does not supersede and go beyond the Barak. Rasulullah traveled in the atmosphere up. You know, the more you go up, the oxygen gets thinner. You can't breathe. It will crush your chest in. But Allah does what he wants to do. So he washed his heart out in preparation for that mu'jiza. That's the first ayat. Alam nashrah laka sadrak. It means Allah opened up your chest to take the truth, to realize the truth, to be patient, to tolerate people. He used to go to the masjid, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and when he would walk to the masjid, he would make a dua. Allahumma ij'al fi sam'i nura, wa fi basri nura, wa fi lisani nura, wa fi qalbi nura. Allah, put light in my heart when he's walking to the masjid. In my eyes, in my ears, put light on my tongue, put light on in my heart means alam nashrah laka sadrak. So that dua is a dua that the Muslim makes trying to receive that. That's one meaning, and the other meaning is his heart was open. How many times was his heart open? His heart was open twice. What 2 times? When he was young and when he was older. Why? To prepare him for prophecy, and the second one to prepare him for the trip. Second ayat, ikhwani, from this short surah, powerful surah, that's from the Medina surahs that were revealed after the hijrah, is the statement of Allah Ta'ala, وَوَدَعْنَ عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ. We opened up your heart and we took off you your wizard, not wazir, wizard. Wizard in Arabic, it means your mistake. Wizard is a sin, it's a mistake. Didn't we take off of you your mistake, your sin, Muhammad? The sin that caused your back to go down, الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ, it made your back go down. What's the meaning of these 2 ayats? First thing, wizard, it means sin, mistake. So I'm going to say it because I want you to know this word, inshallah. And at the end of the class, I'm going to give somebody $20, 20 pounds if you can answer the question. But you're responsible for everything. I always tell you that. So pay attention, young brothers. Wizard. I'm going to say wizard, and you want to repeat it after me, okay? Wizard. Okay, wizard. Wizard is a mistake. Allah Ta'ala mentioned again, وَوَضَعْنَ عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ. We took off of you your mistake. Wizard. The plural is awzar. لِيَحْمِلُوا أَوْزَارَهُمْ كَامِلَةً يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. The non-Muslims are going to carry their mistakes that they did يوم القيامة completely. The Prophet said, من سن في الإسلام سنة حسنة كان له أجرها وأجر من عمل بها من غير أن تنقص أجورهم شيئا ومن سن في الإسلام سنة سيئة كان له وزرها وأوزار من عمل بها من بعده لا تنقص من أوزارهم شيئا. Anyone who's responsible for doing a good sunnah in Islam, he'll get the reward of the people who did that sunnah because of him, and their reward won't be decreased. Anyone who does a bad thing in Islam and people followed him, he's going to get the wizard. He's going to get the responsibility of their awzar, their wizard, without it being decreased. So Allah told the Prophet, didn't we take off of you your wizard? Now this is important, guys, especially in this part of the world. This ayah goes to show that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made mistakes. It goes to show Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a human being. Him and the other prophets, they're human beings. Rasulullah, he says sallallahu alaihi wasallam, kullu bani Adam khatta'un wa khairu khatta'in at-tawwabun. All of Adam's sons, all of Adam's children, they make mistakes. And the best of them who make mistakes are the ones who make tawbah. In this part of the world, if some people hear this in certain masjids, they will throw you out of the masjid if you said that. They don't want to hear something like that. But the Quran is telling us, hey, Ya Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, wa wada'na anka wizrak. We took off of you your mistake. We forgave it. We took it off of you. The one that caused your back to go down. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with one of his companions. He was blind. And that man was asking Rasulullah questions about the deen. And then the rich people from Quraysh, they came. The rich people, the big people from the Ansar, from Medina, they came. And they wanted the Prophet to pay attention to him. So the Prophet ﷺ to them, the Prophet told that man, like, he frowned and he looked away, like to tell a man, I'm going to talk to you later. Because right now, if I could talk to these people and they become Muslims, it's going to help you, help me, help everybody. But that man was the first one there. He's blind, miskeen. He was the first one there. So he had the Prophet's attention. Then the rich, important people came. And they said, okay, we want to listen to you. What you have to say? But that man came first. Like in the Salah. That man came first. And he's in that row. Nobody can come and say, you got to get out of this row because you're Somali. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So the Prophet frowned and he turned away. Allah revealed the ayah, Abasa wa tawalla in ja'ahu ama. He revealed that ayah. He frowned and he turned away. You should know, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not frown because he didn't like the guy. He didn't frown because that companion was not important. What he was trying to say to the man was, hey, listen, not right now. Let me deal with them. But that's not how you do it in Islam. That man is with you first. That poor, miskin, needy individual is with you first. When the big people, rich people come, don't do that like that. So Allah Azza wa Jal rectified that action of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad is like everybody else. In that, he's not perfect. He's perfect as a human being, but all human beings make mistakes. The prophets and the messengers, the people will come Yawm al-Qiyamah. They will ask, they will be in trouble, the believers. They need to get out of trouble. They're going to ask Adam to get them out of trouble. Adam was a prophet. Adam is going to say, hey, I went to the tree. It's a mistake. I was expelled from Jannah. I went to the tree. He said, it's not for me. Go to Noah. They're going to go to Noah. Hey, Noah, can you get us out of this jam situation? Noah said, no. I asked Allah for something I shouldn't have. I asked him to protect my son, who was a disbeliever. That was a mistake. He said, go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim's going to say, it's not for me. I did 3 mistakes. I lied. I did this. I did that. It's not for me. Go to Musa. Musa's going to say, hey, I punched that man. I killed that man. I killed that man. It's not for me. Go to Isa. They'll go to Isa. Isa's not going to say he did anything. He's not going to say, I did this, I did that. He said, it's not for me. Go to Muhammad. And then Prophet Muhammad will get involved, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he'll make the shifa. The point is, prophets and messengers, they make mistakes. But what kind of mistakes? And this is the important point that I really want you guys to understand. What kind of mistakes? First of all, they don't make mistakes when it comes to what was revealed to them in the message. They don't make those mistakes. They do what they're ordered to do. They don't make those mistakes. Number 2, they don't make major mistakes. While they're prophets and messengers, they don't make major mistakes. The kaba'ir, they don't make kaba'ir. Musa killed the man when he wasn't a prophet or a messenger. And then he became. If you read that Bible, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, what the Bible writes about the prophets and the messengers, no one who has any common sense will believe half of that stuff. It wouldn't even be appropriate to say some of the stuff that they wrote that transpired between prophets and their daughters. It's crazy. The prophets don't make major mistakes. Another thing, when you read the Quran, whenever a prophet made a mistake, like Dawood, for an example, two people came to Dawood, two disputants. They were angels. They came to him while he was praying. And one of them said, La takhaf, khasman, baga ahaduna al-akhir. Don't be worried. We are disputants. One has oppressed the other one. And the one who was talking said, this is my brother. He has 99 sheep, and I only have one. I only have one. And he demands that I give him my one sheep. Judge between us. Dawood said, لَقَدْ ظَلَمَكَ. He has oppressed you by asking you for your one sheep. Then Allah said, and then Dawood realized that he was tested and he made a mistake. So he fell down and he made istighfar, sajda. It's one of the places of sajda. Does anyone know what Dawood did that was a mistake here? Does anyone know? How about you, Akhi? What do you think Dawood did that was a mistake here with these two disputants? This is really important. Anybody know? He didn't ask both of them. He didn't get the two sides of the story. Hey guys, Dawood said the guy has one and he has 99. The one who has one, oh, he has 99. I only have one, and he's telling me to give him my one. Huh? Dawood said he oppressed you by asking you for your one sheep. And then Dawood realized we tested him, and he made a mistake. So he made sajda and he asked Allah to forgive him. In this issue, a few things. The Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا جَلَسَ إِلَيْكَ خَصْمَانْ فَلَا يَقْضِ بَيْنَهُمَا حَتَّى تَسْمَعْ مِنَ الثَّانِي كَمَا سَمِعْتَ مِنَ الْأَوَّلِ إِذَا فَعَلْتَ ذَلِكَ فَقَدْ تَبَيَّنَ لَكَ الْقَضَاءُ. If two disputants sit before you, listen to the second one the same way you listen to the first one. If you do that, it will become clear. Most people are not like that. Muslims were not like that. If someone comes and he's my brother, my sister, my father, my uncle, on my side, my friend, whenever he tells me the story, I just believe it as if it's revelation. You can't believe that until you go and you ask that other brother what happened. In the story of Yusuf, when the door opened and the lady, the wife of the Aziz, she was trying to be with Yusuf, when the door opened, she was the first one to talk. What is the punishment for the one who tried to get your wife? Most people look at that and say, oh, the lady, she got tears, big alligator tears. He must have done it. The Prophet told us, don't look at the alligator tears. You have to listen to both sides of the story. Most people are not like that. So anyway, with Dawood. In the Quran, every time a prophet made a mistake, right after his mistake, never more than 3 ayat, never more. Sometimes 1 ayat, 2 ayat, never more than 3. After 1 ayat, 2 ayat, 3 ayats of the story, after the mistake, he makes tawbah right away. So when the prophets make mistakes in the Quran, they don't make major mistakes, and when they make those mistakes, they make tawbah right away. Whereas non-prophets and messengers, they make major sins, and they don't make tawbah for a long time. Sometimes they never make tawbah. So the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's from Bani Adam, and he made mistakes. He was praying Salat al-Dhuhr or Salat al-Asr. He wanted to pray 4 rakat, but he only prayed 2. And then he said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A man by the name of Dhul Yadayn, he came and said, Ya Rasulullah, did you forget, or has the Salat been shortened because you only made 2 rakats? Rasulullah said, is what he's saying true? Everyone said, yes, you only made 2. Prophet Muhammad got up, he made 2 more rakat, and then he made the sajda of forgetfulness. He made a mistake. And why did he make that mistake? To teach us what to do in that situation. The last thing about this ayat, the mistake is, the ayat said, الَّذِي أَنْقَذَ ظَهْرَ. We took off of you your mistake that caused your back to go down. Again, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, although Allah forgave him for his sin, as he said in the Quran, Surah Al-Fath, لِيَغْفِرَ لَكَ اللَّهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. So Allah is going to forgive you, Ya Muhammad, for your mistakes that happened in the past and the ones that's going to happen in the future. Rasulullah was praying the night prayer. Aisha was watching him, and his heels began to swell, and he began to bleed from his heels. And she was watching him from how long he was praying. She said, Ya Rasulullah, after he finished salah, she said, Ya Rasulullah, why do you pray so long? وَقَدْ غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَكَ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. And Allah forgave you for what happened in the past of your mistakes and all future mistakes, your sins. Why are you praying like that? The Nabi told us, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, أَفَلَا أَكُنْ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Should I not be a slave who is shakir to Allah? He made me a prophet, this ayah. He gave me so many things, the kawthar, this, that. Should I not be shakir? So when she said, Allah is forgiving what you did in the past and what you're going to do in the future, if that statement was wrong, he would have said, don't say that. I don't have any mistakes. Because if anything happens in his presence that's wrong, anything was said that was wrong, someone looked at someone, if it's wrong, he has to say, don't do that. He has to do it. He would never be quiet if something was wrong. Because if he was quiet, it shows that that thing is okay. He gives his approval. So when she said, Allah forgave you for your mistakes, your sins in the past and the future. If that wasn't true, he would have said, don't say that. I don't have mistakes. But he said instead, okay, yes, Allah forgave me, but should I not be a slave who is shakir? So, ikhwani, this understanding that some of the Muslims have, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was mistakeless. No, he's a human being, and he's a complete human being as far as they go, and he made mistakes. But what mistakes? He didn't make the major sins. If he made a mistake, he made tawbah from it. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his mistake affected him. He didn't just do like this about it. It bothered him to the point where it was weighty on his back. So Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in that ayah that he has taken that off of him. And in the next two ayahs, number 5 and 6, Allah Ta'ala mentioned, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. And we made things easy for you. We made things easy for you. This is really important as well because, again, it goes to show when the Prophet was in Mecca, ikhwani, there was a time, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where the people in this masjid right now are more in number and in resources than what the Muslims had in Mecca at one time. One time, the Muslims consisted of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Khadija radiallahu anha, Abu Bakr, Ali, and Zayd ibn Haritha. They were 5 people. That was it. They were 5 people. And then they grew into 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It grew like that. We have right now, this masjid, more money, more resources, more people than they had at the beginning. And not only that, Islam for them was difficult. In Mecca, you lose your life if you left the religion of Abu Lahab and those people. You would lose your life. It was difficult in the beginning. But then they went to Al-Medina, and after 23 years, Allah gave them the victory. And that's the meaning. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. With difficulty there is ease, with difficulty there is ease. Anytime you find in the Quran something being mentioned multiple times, the reason why it's being mentioned is in the Arabian culture, before Islam and after Islam, emphasis is made by repeating things in the Quran. Why would Allah repeat in Surah Al-Rahman, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ? Why did the Prophet, when he used to say things over and over again, why would Allah say in the same ayah, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا? And in the language, something is going on also, emphasis inside of the language. We don't have time to get into that, but the point is, that goes to leave no doubt in the mind of the Muslim, no matter what's going on in your life, with difficulty is going to be ease. Allah sent the difficulty down. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, when Allah sends the difficulty down, if it goes into a hole, the ease is going to come right after it. Allah never ever just sends down difficulty like the Palestinians. That is a difficult situation. But sooner or later, there's going to be some ease. The question is, Mata Nasrullah? When is the help going to come? That's the question. But the help is going to come. So it shows it's impermissible. It's not permissible for the Muslim to give up hope, to commit suicide, because something is happening. Well, therefore, pay attention. He can't give up hope. He can't despair. Despairing is from the major sins in Islam, to give up hope. So whatever is going on, ease is going to come. Look at this Ramadan right now. This Ramadan. 20 days ago we started fasting, and we're fasting about 18 hours, something like that. 17, 18 hours is a long time to fast. And now we are on the last 10 days. The 20 days that have gone by, they prove this lesson. With difficulty there is ease. Fasting now is not as difficult as it was when we first started. And we're more than 2/3 finished. 2/3. There were some people before Ramadan began, they had trepidation, they were nervous. We've done 20 days. Where are those 20 days at now? They're gone. And that's because, like this issue was saying, Prophet Muhammad told the people, anyone who has a problem, compare your problem to my problem. You lost someone, compare the people who I lost. All of my sons died, my daughters died, my people I love, they died. I was persecuted, I did this, I did that. The beginning of my dawah in Mecca, it was difficult. And now you look at in the world, there are over 1 billion Muslims on the face of the earth, because Allah Azza wa Jal, He sent down the difficulty on the Muslims at that time, and then He made the ease. Then the last two ayahs said, فَإِذَا فَرَقْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَبْ. So after you finish your job, you're giving dawah, your life is about to be over, Ya Muhammad, turn to your Lord and focus in your prayer. Turn to Allah in salat. Don't pray to anyone else, and focus in your prayer. And this is another important issue. Allah told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to focus in his ibadah. Don't be a person who comes to ibadah and your mind is somewhere else. In the month of Ramadan, there is a hadith. إذا سمع أحدكم النداء والإناء في على يده فلا يدعه حتى يأخذ حاجته. In the morning when you're taking suhoor, the hadith said, in the morning when you're taking suhoor, if you hear the adhan, you know it's the time for fajr, and you have the drink in your hand, he said, don't put the drink down until you finish it. Why is that? It'll become clear, inshallah. And another hadith, he says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, La salata, إذا حضر الطعام وإذا كان يدافع الأخبثان أو أخبشان. He said, there's no prayer. You should not pray. You should not pray if the food is put down, it's time to eat the food, or if you have to go to the toilet. Either you have to defecate or you have to urinate, akramakum Allah. If you have to go to the toilet, the Prophet said, don't pray. Go to the toilet and relieve yourself. You have gas, don't hold that gas in and pray like that. So if it's time, like we're praying Maghrib, we go to someone's house, we break our fast, and we wanted just to eat the dates and then pray and then eat the food. But they do it a different way in their house. They eat the dates, eat the water, then they bring out the starters and they bring out the full course meal. Should you leave that meat, that food, and go and pray? Shouldn't do it. You should go in and eat the food, and then you pray. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, at Maghrib time, he was fasting on that day. It wasn't Ramadan, but he was fasting. His wife put the food out. They made the adhan. He started breaking his fast. Then they made the iqam in the masjid. He was just relaxing, eating. The religion didn't tell him, put those dates in your mouth, 5 dates, and you're going real quick. Because that's not how you got to eat. You put the dates in your life and you drink the water. No, don't do it like that. Relax. Take your time. He says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لا ينكح المحرم ولا ينكح. A person who's making umrah or hajj, he cannot get married when he's in his ihram. He can't get married. Nor can he marry someone. This guy, he wants to get married to that lady. He can't get married if he has ihram on. And if he's the brother, the father, the wali, he can't conduct the marriage. Why? All of these rulings are because Islam is telling you, if there's something that's going to make you distracted, don't pray. Don't pray until you take care of that thing. إذا أقيمت الصلاة وحضر العشاء فابدأوا بالعشاء. If the iqamah has been established and the dinner has been put down, he said, eat the dinner first. Eat the dinner first. So that's the meaning of those last ayahs. If you finish what you were doing, Ya Muhammad, and it's time to pray, then pray and stand to your Lord. Pray to Allah with focus and concentration. Don't come to the ibadat of al-Islam, salat and other than salat, and your mind is somewhere else. So there's some people who, they don't want to make the new wudu, so they keep holding it, and you can feel the gas. This is something that's disliked. If you did it, if you prayed with that, I don't say that your prayer is no good, but you're doing something that's makruh. Go ahead and relieve yourself so that you can be focused on the prayer that you're about to do. And that whole issue goes to show the importance of an individual cleaning up his mind and clearing up his mind when it's time for the ibadah, when it's time to do something. Something that your job, the thing that you're trying to do, Islam wants you to be focused. You're a driver, be focused. You're a student, be focused, whatever the issue is. So those are the tafsir of those ayat, those 8 ayat of the Quran. As I told you, there, ikhwani, are many benefits of learning the Quran in the masjid. And for those of you who came late, we shared with the brothers the point of many of the hadith that Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned. Anyone who comes to the masjid and he reads 2 ayat, and he learns 2 ayat, what the rewards are. But that's only in the masjid. If he reads those ayat in his house, he'll get rewarded, but not the rewards that I mentioned. It's in the masjid. Any of you want to go to the place to get 2 camels every day? Yes, okay, then come to the masjid and read the Quran and learn the Quran. There are never a group of people who come together in the house of Allah, the masjid, and they read that Quran together, they learn that Quran together, except that the malaika come down, Allah gives them His rahmah, and Allah remembers them with those who are with Him. So now that we have all of these people in the masjid, in the month of Ramadan, in the last 10 days, inshallah, the Laylatul Qadr can possibly be tonight, and you have the Inshirah of your hearts, and that's why you came. Someone else will hear there's something in the masjid. No matter who's coming, he's not going to come, because he's not going to the masjid. He doesn't have Inshirah for that. So now that you have that now, from the lessons of Islam, of Ramadan, is to continue on the path of doing these issues and doing these things in the hopes that Allah Azza wa Jalla will make these things part and parcel of who we are in our personalities. So don't abandon the masjids after the Ramadan. I saw a WhatsApp message that I thought it was applicable to the statement, a picture speaks 1,000 words. The WhatsApp image that was sent to me, it showed 2 pictures in the one image. On the left side, it showed a lot of Muslims demonstrating against Israel and the oppression that they're doing. They were really riled up and pumped up, like hundreds of, it was a lot of people. There was no room to stand on the left side. And then on the right side, it had a masjid and it was empty. So the right side picture said, the masjid at Fajr time. The left side said, the Muslims demonstrating. And you know when they're demonstrating, every Amr, Bakr and Zayd is at the demonstration. Every Amr, Bakr and Zayd. People don't pray. People say crazy things. People are criminals. People are just there to try to steal people's money. Pickpockets. So people get pumped up over issues like that. And when it comes to the hereafter, being in the masjid, we don't have that same enthusiasm, when in fact the masjid is the place where that type of enthusiasm should be exemplified and should be expressed and shown. So continue, inshallah, to connect yourselves to the Book of Allah by reading it and studying it, giving dawah to it and practicing it, and doing that in the masjid, Okay, Akhwani, we're going to stop right here, and we'll take any questions that you have before we give you the opportunity to get the $20 for the Shabbat, for the younger brothers, as an incentive for them to continue to come to the masjid. We're going to ask some really easy questions today, not difficult ones today. Going to be really easy, really easy. Do you brothers have any questions concerning what we put forward, or any general questions about Ramadan and things like that, al-i'tikaf or something like that? Sheikh Habibur Rahman.
Actually, brother, first of all, Jazakallah khairan for this thought-provoking lecture, mashallah. The thing which you mentioned might create a misunderstanding among the mind of people. What you said, the people of the day of judgment will go to this prophet, that prophet. While mentioning that, you mentioned that they will go to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, and he will say, I made a lie. So that is very important sentence, and people need to understand what is a lie. Was it really a lie or not?
Concerning what Ibrahim mentioned, Jazakallah khairan ya Sheikh Habibur Rahman, the mistakes that Ibrahim mentioned, in actuality, they were not really mistakes. In actuality, everything that he said, it had a reason for him saying that. It was more tuqya than anything else. It's more tuqya. The first lie that the first mistake that Ibrahim made was that he said to the people, Inni saqim, that I'm sick. They wanted him to come out and party with them for the Eid. He said, no, I'm sick. But he wasn't sick. But he had them to think that he was sick. His sick was, I'm sick of this jahili and this kufr and shirk. I'm sick, I'm not going. But they thought something else. His other line, his other mistake is when they asked him, hey, who broke our idols? Who broke them up? We heard there was a young man by the name of Ibrahim. Ibrahim said, no, ask the big one. He did it. He did it. And the big one didn't do it. Ibrahim broke the idols up, and he took the axe and put it around the neck of the big one. And he said, ask him. He did it. Look, this axe is around the hammer is around his neck. Ask him if he can speak. They said to him, you know this thing can't speak. He said, then why are you worshiping? Why are you worshiping it? So his statement, the big one did it, means what? Because he's symbolic of the kufr and the shirk, he's the reason why I did it. So he did it indirectly. And then the last lie was, there was a king during his time who, whenever the lady came into the city, the man would always want that lady. So he told his wife, Sarah, when we go into the city, I'm going to tell this man, you're my sister. So when he asks you, you make sure you tell him you're my sister. Don't tell him you're my wife. You're my sister. And Sarah is his sister. Your wife is your wife and your sister in Islam. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. Your wife is your sister in Islam. So she was his sister. So that man understood sister by blood. So those were the mistakes of Ibrahim, the lies of Ibrahim, but they really wasn't a lie. So Jazakallah khair ya Sheikh. Akhi Usamah.
If you repent, will you still see the evil?
The ayah of the Quran, many ayahs, وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى. Anybody who does any good is going to see it, even if it's really small. And anyone who does a little bit of evil, no matter how evil, he's going to see it, even if it's small. So, Yawm al-Qiyamah, if a person does evil, will he see it? If he made tawbah? If he made tawbah, he won't see it. The Prophet mentioned sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam at-ta'ibu min al-dhanbi kaman la dhanba lahu. The one who makes tawbah from a sin is like the one who doesn't have a sin at all. He doesn't have a sin at all. It wipes it off. Plus, we have all of those kafarat that Allah Ta'ala has put in our religion. إن تجتنبوا كبائر ما تنهون عنه نكفر عنكم سيئاتكم وندخلكم مدخلا كريما. If you people stay away from the major sins, the major ones, the big ones, then we're going to clean up your minor sins. We're going to clean them up. The little sins, we're going to clean them up. How are you going to clean them up? How? You're going to clean them up with tawbah, and also, as he said, as-salawatul khams wal-jum'atu ila-al-jum'ah ورمضان إلى رمضان مكفرات لما بينهن إذا اجتنبت الكبائر. The 5 prayers that you make, Jummah to the next Jummah, Ramadan to the next Ramadan, they are an expiation. They clean up your sins if you stay away from the major sins. So when you make wudu and the water comes off your hand, the sins of your hand come off, the minor sins. So Allah cleans people up when you practice and you fast and things like that. So your sins will be wiped away if you make tawbah. But if a person dies and he has sins on him in his scale, then it's up to Allah. If he chooses, he'll put him in the hellfire and burn him up and then take him out. And if he chooses, he won't put him, just forgive him and make him go to Jannah. May Allah make us from the Ashab, the Jannat al-Firdaus. We didn't mention an ayah. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. And we raised your remembrance, Ya Muhammad. All of these ni'mas that Allah gave him, and that He gave him the maqam al-mahmud. عَسَى أَن يَبْعَثُكَ رَبُّكَ maqam al-mahmud. And maybe that Allah will give you a big place, Yawm al-Qiyamah. Like I told you, you're going to go to Adam, Nuh, Ibrahim. None of them can do the Shafa'a al-Kubra. The maqam al-mahmud is the biggest and best place in the Jannah. It's the Prophet's ability to make intercession. Allah raises dhikr. You can't become a Muslim until you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah. The adhan, all over the world every day, his name is being mentioned, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They said, Allahu alam, that the most popular name in the world today is Muhammad. Allahu alam. As for what people in this part of the country believe, Allah raised his dhikr because He created the Arsh, and He put on the Arsh the name of Muhammad. That's kadhib. It's not true. Lo laka ma khalaqtu. If it wasn't for you, Ya Muhammad, we wouldn't have created that Allah created everything for Himself. He didn't create the life for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whoever hears his name, he has to say sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's from the raising up that the Prophet gave, that Allah Azza wa Jalla gave Prophet Muhammad. Yawm al-Qiyamah, his community is going to be the majority of the people of Jannah. Yawm al-Qiyamah, he is going to knock on the door of the Jannah first. The angel behind the door said, who's there? He says, Muhammad. He said, for you I was commanded to open up the door only for you first. And then the door will be opened and he'll get in. Allah gave him the Kawthar. Allah gave him the Hawd. Allah gave him so many things and raised him up. Starting off from being an orphan. Starting off from being an orphan, insignificant. Starting off from being weak and oppressed. But the ayah said, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. You know that ayah, إِنَّا أَتَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ. Some man from the Kufar Quraysh, they were saying to Rasulullah, you don't have any children, you don't have any children, I got more sons, I got more children. He was his opponent. Allah said, listen, we gave you the Kawthar. Tremendous ni'mah. We gave you the Kawthar. So pray to Allah and slaughter. The one who is your opponent, he's the one who's going to not be remembered. We don't even know who that person was who was fighting the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But everybody remember Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that is the meaning of that ayah. Sorry we forgot about that. Any more questions, Ikhwani? Nah, nah. The ayahs that were revealed, the surahs that were revealed in Mecca, most of them are dealing with at-Tawheed. Who Allah is, the description of Allah. They're dealing with Yawm al-Qiyamah. The Kuffar of Quraysh, they used to believe in Allah. They used to believe in prophets and messengers. They knew Ibrahim and Ismail. They used to believe in zakat. They used to believe in fasting. They used to believe in things like the angels. They thought that Allah Azza wa Jal married the angel. Allah married the jinn, and then He had a relationship with the jinn, and then the angel came. So they believe crazy, but they believe. One thing they didn't believe is they didn't believe Yawm al-Qiyamah. They didn't believe that at all. So in Mecca, those ayahs are talking about the Jannah and the Nar, and the blessings in Jannah, and the evil or the punishment in the Nar. Talking about good akhlaq. The Arabic in those ayat in those surah of the Meccan time, those ayat are high in their Arabic language. Those surahs, Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Ra, Sa, Taha, those types of ayats that have that, many of them were revealed in that period because the people of Quraysh, when they used to hear that, they used to say, wow, we used to blow them away. As for Medina, those ayahs were dealing more with the ahkam. Halal, haram, make salah, what to do in Ramadan. If you do this, you have to do that. You make this mistake, you do that. They're dealing with jihad. They're dealing with the laws of marriage, inheritance, all of those issues. Because the Islamic State had been established. So Allah knows best. Akhi, Sheikh.
Prophet Muhammad somebody asked him about the hadith that every person has a shaitan with him and is attracted. Mine has become Muslim. On that basis, shaitan makes you belong to the beautiful. So how can the Prophet Muhammad make a mistake and once his companion become Muslim?
Now, concerning the authentic hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, when he told the people, ما من أحد إلا وله قرين فقال الناس حتى أنت يا رسول الله قال حتى أنا إلا أن الله أعانني عليه فأسلم فلا يأمرني إلا بخير. Everyone has a qarin, a jinn, shaitan, who tells him to do bad things. When the companion said, everyone, he said, they said, even you? He said, even me. But Allah helped me to overpower minds. Ma qareen. He helped me to overpower my qareen. And he became a Muslim. And now he only tells me to do what is good. So the question of the brother is, if his qareen only tells him to do good, then how can the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam make mistakes? How is that? First thing we're going to mention, Ikhwani, is when the ayat in the hadith of the Quran are there, we have to be very careful about pushing them away. You have to give some plausible explanation. Like, for an example, this is the month of Ramadan, and in the month of Ramadan, the shayateen are tied up. Why are the Israelis bombing those Muslims over there? What is that, from the Malaika? I mean, shayateen doing that. So, shayateen being tied up has to mean something. Because it wouldn't be acceptable for a person to come and see that hadith and say the shayateen are tied up. Okay, the malaika, no, it has nothing to do. Some explanation. So what's part of that explanation? If the hadith is saying that, then one of the meanings is the shayateen are doing less evil. People are more inclined to do the right thing. Doesn't mean there's no evil, but it's lesser. Another meaning possible is like the dog, the lion. You put a iron leash on him. He can walk in a 10-meter diameter, 10 feet. He can't go beyond 10 feet because the leash only goes 10 feet. If you go inside that 10 feet area and he jumps on you and eats you, don't say, I thought he was tied up. He is tied up to 10 feet. So you have to stay 11 feet and beyond. You go inside that 10 feet, you're going to fall into a shaitan situation. So the same thing with this, with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The ayat is Surah Al-Fath. Surah Al-Fath, one of the last ayats, Medina ayat, Surah Fath. The conquest, he conquered Mecca. Fath, talking about when he went there and he conquered them. Along the surah, not إِذَا جَاءَ النَّصْرُ, that's Surah Al-Nasr, Al-Fath, the beginning of it. Is إِنَّا فَتَحْنَا لَكَ فَتْحًا مُبِينًا. We gave you a victory, Ya Muhammad. But in that ayat, Allah has mentioned, لِيَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكَ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. Allah is going to forgive you for what went in your past and what went in your future. So the companions asked him, Ya Rasulullah, when he was dying, he was really in a lot of stress and duress. Why was he suffering? He said, I suffer for two people from amongst you. I'm suffering double. Why does he suffer double as a prophet of the messenger? Because he has to be totally, absolutely cleaned up and prepared to get the best spot in the Jannah. To get the best spot in the Jannah. So with the Nabi himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, saying, I make istighfar to Allah Azza wa Jal. I make istighfar to Allah Azza wa Jal for 70 times a day, 100 times a day. When the munafiqeen, he died, Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Sulul, Prophet Muhammad went and prayed next to him. Allah Ta'ala revealed those ayahs. لَمَسْجِدٌ أُسِّسٌ عَلَى تَقْوَى مِنَ اللَّهِ أَوْلَى أَن تَقُومَ فِيهِ فِي رِجَالٍ يُحِبُّونَ أَن يَتَطَهَّرُوا وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُطَهِّرِينَ. Allah mentioned that ayah, لَا تَقُومْ فِيهِ أَبَدًا. He went to make salah in that masjid over the munafiq. Umar came and said, Ya Rasulullah, don't do it. Don't do that. Don't pray over there. Allah doesn't want that. The Prophet ﷺ said, maybe Allah forgive him. I'm going to do it. So he prayed over him. Allah revealed that ayah. Don't pray over them ever again. Don't do that again. So Allah threatened the Prophet. If you were inclined to change this message, we'll snatch you up by your right. Allah Ta'ala mentioned to the Prophet in the Quran, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَلَقَدْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ وَإِلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ وَلَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. It has been revealed to you, Muhammad, and those who went before you, all of the prophets and the messengers. If any of you make shirk, we're going to cause it to destroy all of your deeds. So Allah threatened the Prophet in ayat of the Quran. And I think I mentioned to you the last time that I was here as well, when the Prophet was cursing those people who broke his head, knocked his tooth out. And in the salat, he was asking Allah to curse this one, curse that one, curse him, curse him. Allah revealed some ayahs to him, don't do that. لَيْسَ لَكَ مِنَ الْأَمْرِ شَيْءٍ أَوْ يَتُوبَ عَلَيْهِمْ أَوْ يُعَذِّبَهُم. You have nothing to do with it, Ya Muhammad. You have nothing to do with who Allah guides and doesn't guide. Don't curse these people. And then Allah guided those people. Prophet Muhammad cursed people. He cursed people, asked Allah lana on people that Allah guided, and Allah told him, don't do that. So I don't know why is it so difficult when we have these ayat. Let me make it very clear though, because there are two extremes. One extreme is for someone to come and say, Prophet Muhammad is just a man, just a man. Hey, he's not just a man. He was a man that revelation came down to. He had mu'jizat. He did Isra wa Mi'raj. He can see the line behind his back. He had so many abilities, not just a man, but he is a human being, and we shouldn't raise him above that station. We shouldn't raise him above that station. So when we say that he makes mistakes, we're not putting him down, and we're not saying, hey, the fact that he makes mistakes proves and shows Allah is the only one who is mistakeless. Al-Qudus, Al-Qudus. One of the meanings of Al-Qudus is the one who is without blemish. Without blemish. Everybody else had blemishes. He lost his tooth. He has bad breath. His hair grows some way, that way. Everybody. And every human being does not escape that. No human being. Any more questions? Fadli ya Sheikh. And then Hirsi. Akramakallah. آمين وأنتم كذلك جنة الفردوس.
My question is one, who was in especially in our Islam. In the Salah, many actually say movement in Salah. Some movement is showing, sometimes I arrange the clothes, looking sometimes eyes going in direction. Or any movement in the Salah, what's affecting that one? Most of the time we say even until the side affects
Concerning moving in the prayer. Concerning moving in the prayer, we already explained to the people earlier that you can move in the prayer a movement that is necessary. A movement that is necessary. If you have to take a step to the right, to the left, move up, move back, you can do that. Prophet Muhammad was praying in his house, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aisha came to the door, he was praying. He took steps all the way back to the door. He opened the door and he went back and he kept praying. I don't tell you to do that, but he never stopped praying. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, allowed you while you're praying to kill the snake or the scorpion. So if you're praying and there's a snake or a scorpion, you don't have to stand there and close your eyes and hope for the best. You can start stepping on them. And if you're stepping on them, you're going to be moving. the boy came to the left side of Prophet Muhammad while he was praying. He took him and put him on the right side. He moved him, and he moved. Then the next boy came and stood on the left. Rasulullah took his hand and pushed them both back. He moved, and he moved them. He was praying on the minbar, and he would do the salat. When he wanted to get sajda, he came off of the minbar, and then he made sajda. Stood up, got back on the minbar, and he kept praying. Then he finished, and he told the people, pray the way you just saw me praying. And he moved. He was praying in the jihad. He was praying in the jihad, traveling. And the enemy he thought was close. And he looked to the side like that, thinking that they were going to come out of the thing. And when he saw that they were not there, he continued to pray. So it's permissible to move a movement that is necessary. As for the person who is not necessary, and he's just looking all around, and that's his salat, it's like that. Then the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, some people better stop looking around like that before Allah snatches their eyesight out. They asked him about the one who looks like that. He said, إِنَّمَا ذَلِكَ اِخْتِلَاسِ الشَّيْطَانِ يَخْتَلَسُهُ مِنَ صَلَاةِ الْعَبْدِ. That's the stealing that shaitan is taken from the salat of the person. Him looking around. So the sunnah when you're praying is to look at the place where you're going to make sajda. When you go into ruku', don't have your head all the way down looking at your feet. Look at the place where you're going to make sajda. Concentrate on that place. Don't close your eyes if you can help it. Maybe closing your eyes helps you to concentrate better, but it's better, it's the sunnah, to look at the place where the sajda is going to be. So if a person he has a reason to move, his kid is playing with this thing right here. His kid has some iron piece of steel thing, and he's about to put it inside of the, what do you call it? The socket. What you guys call this? The socket. And the person is praying, and he looks at the child, and he doesn't move. He doesn't have fiqh. Save your kid. Save your kid. Stop your kid from doing that. So it's permissible to move.
So the second question, I'm asking I've been dealing with my one thing our ummah is missing, that is even I'm not hearing any da'wah regarding that. This is concerning our sisters. Many people, I don't know, maybe cultural influence or misunderstanding of Sharia, I don't know. MashaAllah, sometimes, you know, our sisters live out, but despite the trouser they are wearing, people say, MashaAllah, and then Alhamdulillah. That's what the people say. So, why do Da'i people doing da'wah? What kind of the clothes for the ladies are the commandment of Allah? What the shape of the Thahabi? The Quran?
Concerning the issue of the women and the rights that the community has to give to them in terms of educating them, we should know that our religion doesn't fall short of that, but it's the people. A lot of times it's culture, a lot of times it's laziness, a lot of times there are a lot of issues. Prophet Muhammad himself didn't neglect them, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to tell the men, "La tamna'u ama Allahi min masajidillahi." Don't stop the women from coming to the masjids. There are some masjids that don't even build facilities for women. So when that woman goes to the masjid where there's a janazah at another masjid, she doesn't know what to do because she doesn't know the ahkam of the masjid. I've seen that. Women in some cultures don't even go to the Eid prayer. They're discouraged. They don't think about going, although the Prophet said they must go. Also, concerning that is that the Nabi, he says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "An-nisa'u shaqa'iqur rijal." An-nisa'u shaqa'iqur rijal. Women are the twins to the men. Twins. They're the twins. Everything that applies to the men applies to them unless some dalil comes to say it's different. So, talabul ilm faridatun ala kulli Muslim. Getting knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim, man and woman, equally. But obviously, the woman, she's at home, that's the nature of her life. She's home with the children. So a lot of times she's not going to be exposed to as much as the husband is, quite naturally. But that doesn't mean that the religion neglects her. The lady came and said, "Ya Rasulullah, you sit with the men. We're asking you, the women, we're asking you, set a day off to teach us." He said, okay. He gave the Eid khutbah. After the Eid khutbah to the men, he walked down to the women with Bilal, with Abdullah ibn Abbas. He said, Ya ma'ashir al-nisa, tasaddaqna, finni ra'aytukunna akthar ashab an-nar. Hey women, give sadaqah. I saw you the majority of the people of the hellfire. They said, why? He told them the reason why. They started giving sadaqah. So the fact that he left the men to go give them special concern and consideration, he took care of them. In this Quran, Surah Al-Nisa, a whole surah after them. Surah Al-Mujadala, قَدْ سَمِعَ اللَّهُ قَوْلَ الَّتِي تُجَادِلُكَ فِي زَوْجِهَا وَتَشْتَكِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. All of those issues show Islam is taking care of the needs of the lady. The needs of the lady. Our religion, the Sunnah. It's the culture. It's the culture is a problem. Another thing, Sheikh, you're talking about the women. I used to always make the same observation. Did you know that in our community, there's a group, a segment in the Muslim community of deaf people? Deaf, they can't hear. They don't know anything about the religion because the Muslim community have neglected them. I just started dealing with deaf people. I go on Friday to give a class to some people about this group of people, deaf in Birmingham. Some of them don't know anything about the religion. If you ask them things like, what does Islam say about the dog? Some of them think the dog is okay, and they just didn't know. And that's because if our community is neglecting women, what do you think about the deaf? They can't understand the khutbah. No one's translating, not translating. They tell me don't say trans. No one's sign language. There's another word in English. Not translating. No one's immigration. What? I think we're all hungry, man. I think we're all hungry. So the point is, we have to take care of those women.
Nobody interpret.
Yeah, interpret. Yeah, no one interpretation. That's what they interpret. Akhi Hirsi. Praying Salatul Witr is a long answer that requires a class. It requires you to study that. But very quickly, he would pray Witr 1 rak'ah, 3 rak'ah, 5 rak'ah, 7, 9, 11 rak'ah. And each one is different. 1 rak'ah is cool, easy. Or he would pray 3. He would pray by praying 2. And then he would say, Salaam alaikum, Salaam alaikum. And then he makes the third one. And he said to the people, La tusallu witr kal maghrib. Don't pray Salatul Witr when you make 3 like Maghrib. Do 2 and then get up and do the third one. He said, don't do that. So if you're going to do 3, you don't make taslim until the end. Till the end. And then you do 5. You could do 5 by doing 2, 2, 1. So it's like that. It's something that's easy. Something that's easily referred back to. But the witr prayer should not be like you do Maghrib prayer. Fadil.
Yeah, brother, last night we were talking about the superiority of itikaf. So some question came from sister, can they sit itikaf in this masjid? So obviously we are thinking these 2 rooms which are specified for sister. Now they can sit. What are the important things for them to do?
Certainly itikaf in the masjid. It's for men and for women. The Prophet's wives, some of them make itikaf. Itikaf, ikhwani, is one of those ibadat in al-Islam. It's not easy. Not easy. Rasulullah, one year he did itikaf 20 days, looking for Laylatul Qadr. And then the angel came and told him, no, it's not 20 days, it's in the last 10 days. And then he told the people, Iltamisuha fil ashr al-awakhir. Now that goes to show and prove, if the Prophet knew the ilm al-ghayb, he would have known that Laylatul Qadr is not in 20 days, it's in the last 10 days. And he doesn't know the exact day. He said it's on one of the odd nights. So it shows he doesn't know the ilm al-ghayb. He doesn't know. People have to insist. No, he knows. No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know Yawm al-Qiyamah, when exactly is going to be. So concerning the itikaf, the person should try to seclude themselves from talking and wasting time, and totally, absolutely submerge themselves in the ibadah of Allah, like making the dhikr, reading the Quran, reading the salat, giving da'wah, educating, learning, making an amr bil ma'ruf and nahy al munkar, making the tawbah ila Allah, not texting on your phone. I would advise you don't bring that phone to the i'tikaf. That telephone, mobile phone is your enemy when it comes to i'tikaf, because people are going to be wasting your time. So if you're doing i'tikaf, one of the best things you can do in i'tikaf is the Salatul Tasbih. Salatul Tasbih. The Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to his uncle Abbas, showing how he was a good person who connects the ties of relationship, showing how he wants to give love and khair to his relatives. He said, oh uncle, I'm gonna give you something. Should I give you something? You want me to give you a gift? You want me to do something special for you? He said, yes. He said, pray 4 rakat. Pray 4 rakat. In each rakat, read Surah Al-Fatiha and then another surah. In all 4 of them. Not in the first 2. He said, read Fatiha and another surah. Fatiha, another surah. Fatiha, another surah. Fatiha, another surah. He said, after you finish the surah in the first rakat, say Subhanallah, Walhamdulillah, Wa la ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar. Say that 15 times while you're standing up. And then go to ruku'. And then say it 10 times. And then come up. Sami Allah liman hamida. Say it 10 times. And then go to sajda. Say it 10 times. And then sit up from sajda. Say it 10 times. And then go to sajda again. Say it 10 times. And then sit up from sajda. Say it 10 times. And then stand up and do it again. And don't sit between the 2 rakat. At-tahiyyatu lillahi. Don't sit. On the 3rd rakat, stand up. Don't sit. At-tahiyyatu lillahi. Don't do that. Stand up and do 3 and 4. He said if you do that, it's going to be 75 times you said La ilaha illallah wahda. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah. You did it 75 times in each one. He said, oh uncle, if you do this prayer, غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَكَ مِنْ ذَنْبِكَ أَوَّلَهُ وَآخِرُهُ. Your first prayer mistakes you ever made and the last mistakes. قَدِيمَهُ وَحَدِيثَهُ. Allah is going to forgive your past old mistakes and your new mistakes. خَطَاهُ وَعَمْدَهُ. Allah will forgive the mistakes you made intentionally and unintentionally, what you didn't make. صَغِيرَهُ وَكَبِيرَهُ. Allah will forgive your major sins and your small ones. سِرَّهُ وَعَلَانِيَةً. Allah will forgive the ones you did in secret and the ones you did in the open. He said, oh uncle, if you could do this salat once every day, then do it. If you can do it once every week, then do it. If you can do it once in a month, then do it. If you can do it once in a year, do it. If you do it once in your life, do it. He said, oh Uncle Abbas, if you make this salat, Allah will forgive all of your sins, just like all of the water in the ocean. If your sin was like that, and if all of your sins was like the sand in the land, Allah will forgive you. So, for the one who makes that salat takes time, and that salat takes some concentration. And you may not be able to read a long surah here or there, but that salat makes you pray a long time. That's the normal distance, the normal time of Prophet Muhammad's prayer. That's how he prayed. Not like some of us. You know, you get up for Fajr, those who pray in their homes, and many people don't do the 2 sunnahs. Rakatal Fajr khayru min ad-dunya ma fiha. The 2 sunnahs before Fajr is better than the dunya what's in it. Many people don't pray that at home. The person, he's just praying Fajr. And when he prays Fajr, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ وَالْعَصْرِ. And then that's it. The Prophet's prayer is like the distance of at-tasbih. It's long. His ruku', his sajda. So I would advise the people in i'tikaf, do that once every day in i'tikaf. And the people who are not doing i'tikaf, do it once every day, especially these last 10 days. Now I have to say this, Ikhwani, there are some scholars in Islam who said that this Salat al-Tasbih is not authentic. Some scholars, and they're major scholars. The 4 Imams of the Madhab said, this is not right. And Imam Ahmed said that hadith is weak. Major scholars, some of them say no. But there are major scholars who say, yes, it's right. Some. And Imam Abdullah ibn Mubarak is bigger than those 4 Imams. And Imam Abu Bakr al-Ajurri, Imam al-Bayhaqi, Imam al-Baghawi, Imam Ibn Hajar, Imam al-Nawawi, Ibn Nasir al-Din al-Damashqi, from the latter day scholars, scholar from where you guys are from. Al-Imam Abu Ala Abdul Rahim and Mubarak Furi. Al-Imam Ahmed Shakir from India. Al-Imam Al-Albani, Sheikh Al-Albani. So it's an issue of ikhtilaf. An issue of ikhtilaf. So just because Al-Imam Ahmed said it's not authentic, some of the scholars in Saudi Arabia, Sheikh Ibn Baz, Ibn Uthaymeen, Salih al-Fawzan, they say it's bid'ah, don't do it. If someone says bid'ah, the Sheikh said bid'ah. Hey, our religion is not, the Sheikh said. We respect the ulama, but everybody gets it right or wrong except the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was mistakeless, ma'asum, when it came to relaying the message. He is the only one who doesn't make mistakes in the dawah, the message. So they came to Abdullah bin Umar. Abdullah bin Umar. Some people said, what is the ruling of Salatul Duha? Salatul Duha. Abdullah ibn Umar said, Salatul Duha is a bid'ah. Why did he say that? Because he didn't know. He didn't know. So he said based upon what he knew. So those sheikhs said based upon what they believe, what they know. And those sheikhs said based upon what they... And that's one of the main lessons of Ramadan, ikhwani, that we should understand. One of the main lessons of Ramadan is we have to learn how to have ikhtilaf. Some people are going to start fasting on this day, some on that day. It's not a big deal. Don't worry. Relax. 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 Some people say the i'tikaf can only be in Mecca, Medina, and Bayt al-Maqdis, and that's it. There's a hadith that says that. Other people say, no, it could be any masjid. Ikhtilaf. Some people are going to do the Eid on that day, some are going to do on that day. Some people do 13 rak'ah, some people do 20. It's ikhtilaf, ikhtilaf. Take it easy. And both sides, you can understand what they're saying. People who say 20, they have proof. I don't think that's the right thing, but they have proof. Take it easy. Now, if someone comes and says, Prophet Muhammad didn't die, Prophet Muhammad knows ilm al-ghayb, Prophet Muhammad is Hazir Nazir, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then we're going to say, hey, there's no ikhtilaf for this. This ikhtilaf here is not ikhtilaf. That's like saying you can curse the companions. It's ikhtilaf. Some say yes, some say no. No ikhtilaf and things like that. But in Ramadan, one of the best lessons for ruku', you know, I don't know what happens in this masjid. When the Prophet made dua against people, he would make dua qunut. After he says, Sami Allah liman hamida, then he would make dua against them. But if he wasn't making dua against people, before he went to ruku', he would start saying, Allahumma ihdina fi man hadayt, and he would make dua for him. Some people say, no, they do that. No problem. It's not a big deal. Sajdat al-sahu. The imam makes a mistake. The imam makes a mistake, so he wants to do sajdat al-sahu. If a person did a mistake where he added something, then he should make the taslim and then make the sajdat al-sahu. If he did a mistake where he didn't do enough, then he makes the sajdat al-sahu, then he does the taslim. Some scholars say either way it's okay. No problem. So we have to stop fighting each other and arguing over each other about these kinds of issues that they don't warrant and they don't require all of that. And Allah knows best.
For example, if a sister is sitting with and her days are right, because nobody knows the ilmul ghaib, so then of course it will be abandoned.
And that's another issue of ikhtilaf. Some of the scholars are of the opinion that some women, if their days arrive, menses, it's permissible for her to come to the masjid. Others said no. So the ones who are of the opinion she can go to the masjid, she can stay in an i'tikaf like that. But we wouldn't advise something like that. We wouldn't advise something like that. But it's issue of ikhtilaf. Aywa, tfaddal ya akhi. I'm gonna, Sheikh wants to get his son Khalid some money. It's okay.
Something the Prophet was going to talk about the women.
We're going to make this the last question, inshallah. Sheikh, how much time before the adhan? Concerning the prayer of the women, I told you that the Prophet prayed in front of all of the community on the minbar for the men and the women, and then he got down and he told the people, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Men and women, pray the way you just saw me praying. So women have to pray the same way that the Prophet prayed, the same way, unless the proof shows there's a difference. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he used to make sajda, he would put his arms like that, he would open his arms, and he prohibited people from praying with their arms on the floor, men and women. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, for praying with your arms on the floor, he said, لا تفترشوا افتراش الكلب. Don't put your arms on the floor when you're in sajda the way the dog sits with his arms on the floor like that. So your arms should be off of the floor. As for her coming together like this and hiding herself like that, that's the kalam from the madhab. It's not the kalam from the hadith of Rasulullah. She should learn how the Prophet prayed and do the same thing that he did. The same way her prayer should resemble his prayer. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah mentioned in the Quran, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ وَذَكَرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. All of you have in him a perfect example, men and women. Men and women, you have in him. So we have to follow him tenaciously. Analyze A'la and A'la. Okay, Ikhwani, for the question for the Shabab, Shabab. Okay, 3 questions. The first question is the Meccan period, the Meccan Surah and the Medina Surah. What does it mean? Gotta put your right hands up. Your right hands up. You, little man. Good, that's number 1. Okay, that's number 1. Second question, Akhi, is Alam nashrah laka sadrak. What does it mean?
Speak loud.
He said it doesn't mean, didn't we expand your breast? What's the tafsir? What's the meaning of it? What does it mean? Huh? Cleaning the heart. Cleaning whose heart? You got to be more specific. What you say is part right. What you say is part right. But we need a more comprehensive, fuller answer. Khalid. All of you are right, but you're giving me half of it. What does it mean? I told you it means 2 things. So you have to tell me this and you have to tell me that. It means both things. You can't say half of it or one of it. All right, Akhi. Go ahead. Inshallah, next time, Ikhwani, next time. We got to get this stuff ready. Barakallahu feekum wa ahsanu alaykum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.